start off with a color guard, which is Bob Upton, Ed Sullivan, and Scott Kincaid, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Belmont. What a turnout. What a great event this is. My name is Bob Upton. I'm the Town of Belmont Veteran Services Officer. I'm hoping that we have a lot of veterans up front here for this very important and great event for one of our town's veterans. It's very appropriate to have the grand opening, the ribbon cutting here during the week of Veterans Day. So it's really nice to see everybody here today. If I can, I'd like to invite you to join with me and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could ask Al Gledhill to come up and present and sing the Star Spangled Banner. Al?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Al, and thank you for the color guard. Our state elected officials, Senator Brownsberger and Representative Rogers, both whom secured funding, one for the initial study and then again for funding of the ice plant, which you will see in the opening. But it's a state-of-the-art ice plant that uses CO2 so that we don't use Freon in this facility, which is a fossil-free facility. You will hear from them a little bit later in the program. I'd like to also thank the current and former Board of Selectmen, the Select Board and School Committee that provided support and encouragement. The former town moderator, Mike Widmer, who in fact had appointed this building committee quite a long time ago. The committee in navigating town meeting approval, which Mike helped with immensely. Town Administrator Patrice Garvin and her staff were wonderful in setting up our meetings and keeping us on track. The new rink staff, they've hired 2 people to run the rink now, a rink manager and assistant manager. The town accountant, town treasurer, kept the finances running in the right direction. The water department and the light department were both instrumental, and when we needed something to connect to this, from the street to the facility, they were there to help and contribute in many, many ways. The town engineer inspectional services that reviewed the plans and coordinate the town approvals. It doesn't just happen easily. The facilities department, with Dave Blazon's direction, helped us immensely with DPW, fire department, police department, chipping in as we needed them. And the Belmont schools and their athletic department through Adam Pritchard. And of course, the town meeting and the voters that approved the debt exclusion and funded the project. And it was the voters and town meeting that made this a reality by funding it. Funding also played a major role, and much of that funding came by the dedication of the volunteers, which was Lucinda, Kayla Wiggins, Cheryl Grace, and Ellen Schreiber, and Belmont Youth Hockey Program. They made the fundraising, went out and raised about $2.35 million in private donations to offset the bonds and the debt for the rink. And Lucinda will expand on that a little bit further. I also want to acknowledge our other strategic donor, the Belmont Savings Bank Foundation, for their $1 million donation and the many families and individuals who contributed. Thank you very much, Belmont Foundation. Belmont Youth Activities and the DARE program donated the rental skates and the furnishings within the skate rental shop, something that this rink or Belmont never has had before. And the Watertown Savings Bank is donating the sign to be placed on Concord Avenue to introduce the facility. Thank you. Now let's thank our project partners, the people that rolled up their sleeves to make the facility a reality. First, Ted Galante Architectural Studio, led by Ted Galante, and you'll hear from him a little later, and his team of design consultants. CHA, who acted as the owner's project manager, led by Tom Gazunas. Skanska USA and their trade partners, led by Dan Lanneville and Mike Morrison. And a special shout out to Ian Wilson, the project superintendent. I refer to him as the ringmaster. He got to get the day-to-day stuff done. That's what you need. Thank you, Ian. All of us are incredibly excited to have and see the results of our collective work as you tour the building today and see what this facility is. As you walk through the rink, some of the items are still unfinished. The plaques in the lobby are just mock-ups at this point in time, but they will be printed overall. As you go in, you'll see that the lobby windows overlooking the rink are not in place. We had a little bit of a supply chain issue that the frames have not arrived yet, but they should be in very shortly. The bench and counters will be installed in the lobby once the windows are complete, and your tour today will bring you past most of the important aspects of the rink. A committee member will be at each station of the tour to answer questions as you pass through the rink. You will pass through the lobby, turning right to pass by the concession stand, which has windows on both sides for use for the field at Harris Field or activities there or in the rink itself. There are 4 dressing rooms for normal ice rink, but also the dressing rooms can be converted into double rooms so that visiting teams coming to play at Harris Field will now have dressing rooms, which they did not have before. There are 4 Belmont High School dedicated locker rooms at the rear of the rink. You'll be able to see them, and we reused the lockers that were in the White Field House, restored them, and placed them in the rink. They came out quite well. And the girls soccer team, who have gone to the state semifinals now, I understand, utilized those rinks in the last 2 games. They loved it. As you pass out the rear of the building, you'll be able to take a left and you'll be able to see this new Zamboni room where we have a new Zamboni plus the old Zamboni that's 23 years old. And you also can go further down and you'll be able to see the ice plant that is, as I indicated, was CO2, and it came from Canada without a tariff, which is always good. You cannot view the PV array because we can't get you up on the roof, but the PV panels are all in, and we're just waiting to get approval of the interconnect with Belmont Light. It'll produce about 50% of the power needed to run this facility. Now let's get started with our speakers. First, Senator Brownsberger. Bill?
Mark, thank you so much for your leadership in this incredible project. Mark Haley. So welcome to this Skip Viglirolo Rink. Welcome to this spectacular new recreational facility. This facility belongs to all of you. This facility is built through the labor of all of the people of the Commonwealth, and especially the people of Belmont. We have all contributed to this rink, directly or indirectly, through property taxes or state taxes, or most directly, in the case of many, through donations of our own time and treasure. My partner in the legislature, Dave Rogers, and by the way, I've got the sweatshirt, but he's the real hockey player, played a small role in making state funds available at a couple of critical points in the process, but that is one of our basic legislative roles, to partner with people in the community who are trying to do good things and assist where we can. I am just so proud and grateful to all of the leaders in this community who have come together to make this rink happen. Through the years, so many have contributed. Others are naming names, but the effort to build a rink does go back decades, and there are contributors in so many categories. Of course, the voters of Belmont, who step up to the plate to put most of the money on the table, but also all of those who work to share the information which led to the voters to make that decision, and the dozens of volunteers and municipal officials who sorted through hundreds and hundreds of decisions, small and large, to get to the final product we have here today. I'm especially grateful to all the members of the Rink Building Committee and the Permanent Building Committee and the men and women who came together to build this rink. I see this particular effort as part of a capital campaign comprising over a dozen significant efforts over the past couple of decades in this community. The elementary schools, the middle school, the high school, the town hall annex, the fire stations, the police stations, the public works building, the pool, the Harris Field, and of course our beautiful library soon to come. And by the way, let's not fail to mention the new Belmont Light substation and the water line replacement underneath the ground and the ever slightly behind but renewed and determined effort to bring our roads into a state of good repair. This generation of town leaders have a lot to be proud of. Town leaders and residents, and I, as one Belmontian, am incredibly grateful to all of the people who have stood behind these sustained efforts through the years. Now, our challenge will be to make sure that everybody is able to enjoy all of these assets and to preserve and protect them over the years to come. And I look forward to partnering with everyone here towards those two ends. Thank you so much, and thank you again, Mark.
Dave Rogers, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you all on this amazing day, and congratulations to everyone involved. Of course, to Mark again, an amazing leader of the Rink Committee, my partner, Senator Brownsberger. Mark did a great job thanking and listing everyone who was involved, as did Will. So I really just want to say that this represents the best of the community, a collective effort of everyone getting involved. It wasn't easy. There were 2 debt exclusions. There was some controversy. But when the old rink neared the end of its useful life, the town knew it had to do something. When I talk to kids who grew up around here playing, they talk about the sorry state of the rink at times. So this is going to change the lives of thousands and thousands of young people through the years and the whole community. And, hockey teaches teamwork, and not just hockey, there'll be other community events, but teamwork, camaraderie, competition, playing within the rules, giving it your best, and it can have a profound impact on young people's lives. And I know from my own life, I played hockey as a kid, and it's where I still have friends to this day, and pardon the drama, but in a way, hockey helped, save my life, and that my dad died when I was a kid. I was 12. I woke up, and my dad was gone. And the camaraderie of my teammates and my coaches, who are almost surrogate fathers, really kept me on a good path in life. And at the State House, the state reps have a scrimmage or a game every year against veterans. It's called Skate for 22. It's called Skate for 22 because sadly, up to 22 veterans a day take their own lives. And so all these troops coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, they found the camaraderie of being on a team, getting out and playing, made them feel better, kept them grounded, and helped them stay on a good path. So it can have a pretty profound impact on people's lives. And so for all of you involved, everyone who did anything to make this happen, you should be really proud and feel great about what's going on here today. It's amazing. And I'm glad I could play a part. I brought my skates. I'm ready to go. One thing I'm not going to do, though, is if a scrimmage breaks out in here, I'm not going to block a shot by Big Z if he's here. Not doing that. But it's very exciting. I really am just really thrilled to be here. And again, congratulations to everyone who played a role in making this happen. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Next, I'd like to bring up the Select Board Chair, Matt Taylor.
Hi, my neighbors. Matt Taylor, Chair of the Select Board. I'm standing here today having done very little personally for this project. It's really my predecessors on the Select Board and, years upon years and hundreds of people who have made today possible. And that's because community is a multi-generational team sport. And our challenge today is to keep investing in the present, acknowledging the past, and preparing for the future. So I want to talk about the past, the present, and the future. The Belmont Sports Complex is the rebirth of two buildings, the James Paul White Field House that had dressing rooms and bathrooms, and the James Skip Viglirolo Rink, which had the ice sheet and some bathrooms. But both of these former buildings are honored inside, and they honor two veterans and Belmont's own. James Paul White was deployed to Belgium in 1944 and died a month later, trying to hold back the tide of fascism. He was 19 years old. Skip Viglirolo was a lifetime Belmont resident and worked for Belmont Recreation for 50 years, and the rink was named in his honor when he retired in 1998. I want to acknowledge the Kendall Fund. So we had the Kendall School burned down, and through judicious and reserved and restrained use of these funds, we still had those today to contribute to building this facility that we enjoy now. And so this is the past paying it forward to us today. And the Belmont Sports Complex and the Skip Viglirolo Rink unifies all these things to improve upon the predecessor buildings. And so now we have this glorious new facility for the whole community to enjoy that is built upon teamwork and first and foremost putting the betterment of all of Belmont first in our mind. It's more than just a rink, it's more than just skating and hockey, and it operated to benefit the whole community. The high school teams will continue to have ice time for free, further investing in our student athletes and a well-rounded education. In partnership with the 10,000 households that will help pay for the building, we will operate this facility as close to revenue neutral as possible. And the town will have a professionally operated rink and sports complex that we can all be proud of, and I feel that excitement today. So our challenge is for the future. We are sometimes known as the town of homes, but I think the town of homes without the people is just a bunch of empty buildings. And so our challenge today is to fill this building with memories, with new experiences, with seeing your neighbors, with seeing your kids, with seeing other people, with asking how your neighbors are, to giving high fives and cheers, to pick yourself up in the agony of defeat, and to pull together in celebrating victories, ties, and losses for many years to come. Our challenge is to keep this facility new. When you walk in today, I don't know how many of you have smelled new rink smell, but I think it's probably a once-in-our-lifetime kind of experience. And so our challenge is to keep this facility feeling new so we continue to pay it forward for future and current Belmontonians. And lastly, that we will reinvest and double down our work so as we pass the baton to future community-minded, civic-minded folks like ourselves and all of us in Belmont, that they too can stand in Belmont celebrating a brighter, exciting future that brings all of us together. I am thrilled to be here today. Thank you, Belmont, and would love to chat with you soon.
Thank you, Matt. Next, Patrice Garvin, Town Administrator.
Thank you, Mark. Patrice Garvin, Town Administrator. I will be quick because I am very cold. It's truly an honor to be here today as we celebrate another remarkable milestone for the town of Belmont. I want to begin by thanking all the town staff who are here today, specifically Eric Harrington, our rink manager, and Brandon Fitz, our community service director. Brandon's staff has worked hard, countless hours to make today possible for the community. We are truly grateful for their dedication and hard work. Many administrators and managers might see one major building project during their tenure. I've been fortunate to see not one, but 3 major new buildings built in our community, along with 2 significant renovations, including our police department and Department of Public Works. Each of these projects represents years of thoughtful planning and teamwork, and every one of them reflects Belmont's commitment to serving its residents well. Through all of these efforts, 2 things have remained constant: the dedication of our building committees and the steadfast support of the select board at the time. These volunteers and leaders devote countless hours to ensure that every project not only meets the community's needs, but also reflects its shared values. I'm especially proud that the sustainability has been a guiding principle in all of our recent work. Each of these new facilities incorporates green technology and energy-efficient systems that help reduce operating costs and lessen our environmental footprint. That commitment is on full display here today. I want to take a moment and express my sincere gratitude to the Belmont Day School, Belmont Hill School, and Belmont Light for their generous contributions that made it possible to install solar panels on the roof of this building. Their partnership and support made the solar a reality without the use of taxpayer dollars, something I am proud of. Because of their generosity, this facility will not only serve our residents and young athletes, but it will also generate clean, renewable energy that translates directly into cost savings for the town. It's a win for the environment, a win for our finances, and a wonderful example of what can be achieved when the community comes together. So in closing, I want to thank everyone who has played a role in the new building: the Select Board, Chair Matt Taylor, Vice Chair Taylor Yates and Elizabeth Dion, the Building Committee members chaired by Mark Haley. I'm also going to thank Mr. Dante Muzzioli, for making my job never boring. Also, our dedicated staff, contractors, and community partners. Thank you for all your dedication, your collaboration, and your commitment to Belmont.
Thank you, Patrice. Now I'd like to bring up Mike McCallister, representing the school department.
Good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of Superintendent Geiser, who's here with us today, Chair Moriarty, as well as Adam Pritchard, our athletic director. I want to thank the Rink Committee for the opportunity to speak today. It may be a little bit strange to talk during the dedication of a new building about an old building, but I hope you'll let me do that for a couple minutes today. I'd like to talk about a player that once donned the Marauders jersey, a former high school student, one of the best skaters of his day, one who deserves recognition, and thanks to Mark and his leadership of the committee, one who continues to receive recognition in this new building. I'm talking, of course, about Paul White, the man, the boy, really, for whom the old field house that once sat on that small plot of land just over there is named. Paul White was a 3-sport athlete at Belmont High School who graduated in 1943. Of his chosen sports, it was hockey that he excelled at. In the 1941 yearbook, his sophomore year, both his skills on the ice and his toughness were praised. It reads, "The speedy left winger received a cut that took 7 stitches to patch up in the Cambridge Latin skirmish." So getting cut, 7 stitches on the bench, and returning to the game, that's the kind of old-time hockey that even Eddie Shore would have liked. If you get a chance to read the hockey page of that 1941 yearbook, it reads like a cast list from Little Rascals, with characters like Doc Cunningham, Tubber McBride, and Little Billy Dwyer, who is described very specifically as a 92-pound sophomore. It also describes this amazing inventory of injuries, like Alex McLean's 4 front teeth in the Melrose fray, Johnny Thurston's broken wrist, and Jim Devlin's broken collarbone in what is only cryptically referred to as the Medford encounter. It's amazing reading. It's a true time capsule, and I actually have a copy of it here to gift to Mark to leave in the new rink. So with words like fray, encounter, and skirmish, it's not clear how much hockey was actually being played that season, but we can assume that the 1 in 10 Marauders of 1941 were at least a tough team, if not a particularly accomplished one. So by Whitey's senior year, Coach Harris's team had dramatically improved to what the 1943 yearbook describes as undoubtedly the most successful season in a decade. The Marauders ended the year near the top of the GBI League, which is considered Massachusetts' oldest high school hockey league, and 4 players from that squad were named GBI All-Stars, including Paul White. But as Matt mentioned, less than a year later, in 1944, after joining the Army to fight in World War II, those stitches, those skirmishes, and those all-star honors would be a distant memory. At only 19 years of age, J. Paul White, Whitey, the once speedy left winger, was killed in action in the infamous Battle of the Bulge in Belgium on December 21st. He was 1 year removed from his time at Belmont High School. The White Fieldhouse was dedicated in his honor in 1948 and served nearly 80 years of BHS athletes. His family would remain in town for many years. Paul's sister Betty and his other sister Margaret. I'm honored today to have as my guest Miss Moira Kelleher, who is Paul White's niece. Moira would return to Belmont over the years to see her grandmother, Paul's mother, as she called her, Ma White, to visit the White House and to pass by her uncle's field house on Concord Ave. So welcome and welcome back, Moira, and by extension, the entire White family. So I tell you the story of Paul White not to detract from the joy of today's celebration, because it really is a great day, but to remind us, although the building may be new, it has a long history as well. To honor that history, the committee has found several ways to remember Paul and the entire White family sacrifice. A cornerstone of the old field house was preserved prior to demolition and installed permanently in the new building. A bronze cartouche from the old field house will be installed near the entrance. A new plaque will be installed inside for both Paul and Skip, detailing who they were, their impact on the hockey program, and why they deserve to be remembered. And finally, the building will house the Paul White Hockey Trophy, awarded annually in his honor for excellence in hockey. I had the great fortune to be one of the last people in the old high school building just prior to its demolition. And among the final things we found in an old closet was that very trophy from the 1950s. It was damaged and tarnished and it was damaged and tarnished and not been given out for decades, but there it was. We've since set about getting it refurbished to fixed up and hope again to give it out to the top BHS hockey player annually. I regret that it's not here today, but as soon as it is, I will hand deliver it to the Belmont Sports Complex to be prominently displayed in Paul's honor. So finally, archives show that Belmont High School had a hockey team as early as 1923. They played across a road on that slight depression of grass that at least used to sit next to the Underwood pool. The seasons were entirely weather dependent and could either be long, up to 10 games, or not at all if the weather simply didn't cooperate. And so it is that in the 1940s, Paul inherited a hockey legacy from his previous generations in the 20s and 30s, and he passed on the same legacies to the 50s and 60s. And those Belmont students today who lace up for the Marauders will inherit that same hockey legacy, a long history of legendary players and coaches like Haley, like Viggs, like Muzzy, and now a beautiful sports complex to honor it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Well said. Next, coming up is fundraising chair, Lucinda.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you to everyone for being here today. I'm Lucinda Zuniga, and I'm representing a few different facets of this project. I led the fundraising effort, I co-chaired both voting campaigns,
and I'm a board member of the Belmont Youth Hockey Association with my 2 kids in the youth hockey program. And I'm also a former Belmont High girls hockey player, class of 1999. This is a surreal day for me because it has been years and decades in the making. I played for Mark Haley on the Belmont High girls JV team in the 90s, and even 30 years ago, the Belmont rink was one of the worst rinks we played in. But the poor conditions of the rink and field house didn't matter because the girls were 100% committed to showing up every day to improve their skills and do something that many girls and women were not doing at that time. The Belmont girls hockey program would not exist without Mr. Haley's dedication. I remember going to the school committee in the mid-90s with Mr. Haley and my teammates to invoke Title IX and get equal ice time for our varsity and JV girls teams. Mr. Haley, thank you for all you have done for the girls program and this truly extraordinary work you have done leading the building committee. You and your committee members, Dante, Tom, Danelle, Catherine, Frank, everyone on the committee, you all worked tirelessly to make this incredible facility a reality for our community. On behalf of the Belmont Youth Hockey Association and the 450 kids in our program, I am so pleased to be here today to say thank you to the Belmont town residents. We are well aware that many residents will never skate on the ice, but voted for it to support this project for their neighbors and to ensure Belmontians will have a place to skate, play hockey, and be together as a community for decades to come. Thank you. BYHA is so proud and grateful, and we're already seeing the benefits of the new rink. We have over 100 kids enrolled in our Learn to Skate program this season, and we also have one of the largest girls programs in the state. This has only been possible thanks to the Belmont residents. Our deepest thanks to you all. Now with my fundraising and campaign hats on here, we would not have had this rink if it were not for the dedicated team of my fellow volunteers. I want to acknowledge my phenomenal co-chairs, Cheryl Grace, Kayla Liggins, and also Ellen Schreiber and Nicole Dorn. We're all moms who work full-time, and we worked together for thousands of hours on this project, oftentimes on calls which started at 10 p.m. at night after our kids were in bed. Over these 4 years, we raised $2.35 million in private donations to help build the rink. And we worked in parallel with the building committee on an accelerated timeline, and our success is a testament to the generosity and commitment of the Belmont community, and also the power of women and hockey moms. We are grateful to our strategic funding partner, the Belmont Savings Bank Foundation and the Foundation's Board of Directors, Robert Morrissey, Warren Farrell, Pat Bruce, and Hal Tovin, for their $1 million grant that anchored philanthropic support for the project. Their contributions to the Belmont community are unparalleled. In addition, I want to acknowledge the following leadership donations from individuals, families, and organizations which help build momentum and inspire giving across the community. The Allison Family Charitable Foundation, Belmont Youth Activities and Dare Inc., Roger Colton and Anne Leger, the Benosian family, the Creedon family, Roy and Joanna Epstein, the Fici family, Mark and Christine Palillo, and Jeremy Zuniga. In addition to these lead supporters, we are also thankful for the more than 100 families who donated and are listed on the donor wall inside the lobby. Thank you all. I would also like to thank Senator Brownsberger and Representative Rogers for all their support and the meaningful grants which they helped to secure. Thank you too to the Select Board, Patrice, and the previous Select Board who had the courage to put us on the ballot when some said we weren't ready. Mark Palillo, Roy Epstein, Adam Dash saw the commitment that our group and the building committee had, and they also realized the dire conditions of the previous rink. I thank you all for believing in us. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the Belmont Hockey Youth Association for both the current families of the board and the army of volunteers that helped us in so many ways with both campaigns. I would also like to thank all those families and the board members who came before us. There were numerous attempts to get a new rink in Belmont, along with tireless efforts devoted to finding a path to make this day possible. For the groups that came before us, we would not be here today without your efforts. Lastly, on a personal note, I want to thank my husband, Jeremy. He's the best canvasser out there and knocked on thousands of doors. And my kids, Juliet and Conrad. My parents, Melissa and Dave, for all their help and support. When we lost by the first vote 3 years ago, only by 300 votes, Cheryl, Kayla, Frank French Jr., and I, we were truly exhausted and we felt so defeated. But our kids said, "You can't give up. You have to try again." This project and the facility is a testament to the power of teamwork, effort, and being part of an extraordinary community who supports one another. Thank you all for this tremendous gift to the community today and for generations to come. Thank you.
I would like to just add, thank you, Lucinda. I'd like to add one thing that she did leave out about the girls' hockey program. The town of Belmont is the first girls' hockey program in the state of Massachusetts. And Lucinda was one of the players, 1995. With that, I'm going to call up Gail Harrington, the daughter of Skip Viglirolo. Gail.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everyone. Skip would have loved to have seen this rink to its completion and experienced a special day with you all. He was a legend, not only because of his athletic ability, service to our country, 25 years of coaching, or for 50 years working for this town, but because of his love for this community. He embodied what it meant to be a true Belmontian, working to create opportunities, using his talents to teach others, and always striving to make this town a better, more accessible place for all. Skip is fortunate to represent those characteristics that make Belmont the great place that we call home. We have countless people to thank on this journey, but I was told I had 2 minutes. First, I'd like to shout out to Ian Wilson from Skanska, who welcomed Skip and allowed him to witness the construction of this project from the start. When Skip couldn't come down and physically, Ian would send pictures and videos home to be shown to Skip. He loved seeing those and seeing where the rink was going. And to Steve Rosales and others for their valuable knowledge and guidance, helping our family navigate town politics. And to Dante Muzzioli for his relentless passion and commitment to Skip. Muzzy was the driving force behind naming the rink in honor of Skip back in 1998, and he fiercely continued to carry that torch through to this beautiful rink today. And finally, to town meeting and the Belmont community, for your vote to rebuild this facility that will serve many generations to come. But Skip would have been most proud of you, who stood up and had his back when it mattered most, by choosing to honor and retain our town's history by saving the Skip. On behalf of Skip's wife, Claire, and the entire Viglirolo family, we thank you all.
Thank you, Gail. And now I'd like to bring up our partners in crime for building this rink, and the first will be our architect, Ted Galante.
Good afternoon, I'm Ted Galante. It's almost as cold out here as it was in the previous rink. But I'll note that there are fewer birds. I just want to, we have been so honored to be part of this project. We're really grateful to the town of Belmont. And I'll say that I am so impressed with this town, with its commitments, with the people that grow up here, stay here, and dedicate their lives to this town. I've heard a lot about Skip. I know Mark and Dante and many others that have been here. Steve Rosales and I worked on the police station together. It's the layers of history in this town are really impressive, and I can feel them as someone from outside. I'm from Cambridge, and so I'm really impressed and really honored to have been part of this project. I'm also really impressed with the commitment to sustainability in this town. Very few communities would work this hard, struggle this much to make their building this sustainable and this green. The CO2, the carbon dioxide driven ice plant that you have here today has a global warming potential of 1. The original intent when we started this project was to use standard refrigerant, which has a global warming potential of about 1,800. So the commitment from the town was to bring it down as low as possible, even though we struggled with budget, we struggled with schedule, we struggled with many things. The town was committed to sustainability. On top of that, the building is covered with photovoltaic panels. I'm so grateful to be part of that. Architecture is about 3 things. It's about vision, collaboration, and execution. There was a lot of vision, let's just say that. There was a lot of, the building committee had many visions in many directions. But together we all collaborated to really make it work. It was a team collaboration. There was a lot of involvement. There was a lot of partnering. There was a lot of friction. There was a lot of love. It was a really complex project, and we delivered, right? The project was delivered. The execution, Mark said that there were 150 meetings. There were 150 5 a.m. phone calls from Dante. There were 150 9 p.m. emails from Mark. These gentlemen are dedicated. They're dedicated to your town. They're dedicated to getting this building built, and they really delivered. I think we all delivered. I'm grateful to have worked with Skanska. They were a great team partner. There are many people on the Skanska team who delivered time and time again. CHA, we've worked with them a number of times, a great group to work with. And just as a small token to the building committee, there's a little a wagon here of boxes, and we've made these models that we want to give to the building committee. They're little models of the building that are a way of saying thank you. Thank you for letting us be part of this, and we're so excited to get on that ice and skate. So thank you all very much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ted. Next is the owner's project manager, Megan Lacoche.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Megan Lacoche from CHA Consulting, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the whole CHA team. Tom was not able to be here today. He had an important family event, his 2-year-old grandson's birthday, so didn't want to miss it. The CHA Consulting team has also been part of the Belmont community for many years, working on the rink and also on the library and the high school. The rink has been a long time coming, and it's great to finally see the high school, middle school complex complete. As a former Belmont resident, it's so exciting to see all the progress and improvements to the town. The CHE team is really proud to be part of this project. It's been such an amazing team to be working with Skanska, the building committee, as well as Ted Galante's team. It's not just a building, it's a space for this community and a place for the students, athletes, figure skaters, and hockey to meet up and really just enjoy. And honestly, it's great. Thanks for everyone, all the time and energy and heart to make this happen. It's really great to see, and I will keep it short for you so we can get in there and check it out.
Thank you, Megan. And next, the major player in this game is the Skanska construction team, and it's represented by Dan Lanneville.
Good afternoon. My name is Dan Lanneville, Senior Vice President with Skanska. And first, we'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. More importantly, for allowing us the opportunity to be part of helping deliver this amazing new skating rink. A few years back, I was in a meeting with one of our clients and we were going around the room talking about how we define success in completing a project. Most people's answers were on time, on budget, high quality, etc. All the answers you'd expect. Then we got to one very senior person in the room and she said, when we are all standing together at the ribbon cutting, giving hugs, high fives, talking about how we all want to work and look forward to working together as a team again, that's when I know we've achieved success. I've been doing this for 30 years and delivering fantastic public facilities is not easy. The only way it works is when everyone is rowing in the same direction. From the residents and taxpayers of Belmont who trusted us with your hard-earned dollars, to the tireless efforts of a volunteer committee who get nothing out of this except the satisfaction of making a lasting impact in their community, to the boots-on-the-ground project teammates, the project managers at CHA, the designers at Ted Galante Architecture Studio, their consultants, the trade partners, the craft workers, too many to name, who roll up their sleeves every day to keep things moving. Everyone here had a common vision and goal to deliver an amazing facility for the residents of Belmont, and that's exactly what happened. We and I personally have had the pleasure of working with the town of Belmont and delivering 3 amazing buildings. For us, today is what it's all about. So high fives to everyone who made this possible. I sincerely hope that someday we will have the honor of working with this team again. Until then, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Dan. So right now I'd like to take a little breather. The shirt you see down here in front of the podium was donated through the Boston Bruins, and Cam Neely sent us a letter to the town of Belmont, and I'll read it. It's relatively short. Dear Belmont community, the Boston Bruins are proud to congratulate the town of Belmont on a grand opening and dedication of your new skating arena. This facility represents more than just a sheet of ice. It is a place where young athletes, families, and community will come together to celebrate the great game of hockey for generations to come. Belmont has a proud hockey tradition, and several players who have worn the black and gold have roots right here in your town. We know this new arena will inspire the next generation to lace up their skates, dream big, and carry forward that legacy. On behalf of the entire Bruins organization, congratulations to everyone who made this project a reality. We wish you great success and memorable moments on the ice. Best wishes, Cam Neely, President. With that, I'd like to introduce Dante Muzzioli, Vice Chair of the Building Committee.
What a wonderful day for everybody. To see everybody out here today is just really special. And I can remember the first time the rink opened in 1969, and it was this 14-year-old kid at that attendance, and now this 14-year-old kid's turned into a 70-year-old man at the new rink. And so this rink is built for generations. I know Mark did a great job, and we have so many people to thank here. No more important than Mark Haley. Mark Haley's leadership, expertise was second to none. I think we owe Mark a round of applause for what he's done and what he's accomplished here. Great leadership, Mark. This project is beyond. So, in saying that, I'd like to introduce a friend of mine that I got to know pretty well, and I was very fortunate to be at the Hall of Fame, National Hockey League Hall of Fame this past weekend, and be a guest of his. He's turned out to be a friend. He's a very humble. He's probably the most humble athlete I've ever met in my entire life. He doesn't like the fanfare. He doesn't like anything, but Boston is so proud of him. 14-year captain at the Bruins, 1,600 games. Just to remember a few things, he came down to honor us and do a send-off. I think we had Bobby Orr the first time, and we got Zdeno Chara the second time. Doesn't get much better than that, guys. So I'd like to introduce Zdeno Chara. Would like to say a couple of small words. Thank you. Come on up, Z. Okay. Okay. Whoa, you got that one? You got it. Okay. So we'd like to present a cake to Zdeno Chara. Says, congratulations, Big Z. Hall of Fame. He just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. It was an amazing event. He's got his two boys here today to share, and they're dying to get their teeth into the cake along with everybody else. So here you go, Z. Thank you for all you've done for Boston, all you've done for all of us, and especially what you've done for me. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. First of all, what a great day, and thank you guys for coming. Like Kevin Neely said, you know, it's unbelievable to have another rink. I would probably like to thank on behalf of many people to all the people who started this project, the planners, the builders, all the hard workers who, you know, day in, day out came, start building this beautiful arena, this sportsplex. When I look at this, when I look at the sports, you know, buildings, I don't see just a building. I see for future generations a place where they can have their dreams, their motivations, their funds become a reality. So hopefully this is something that will be very useful and you know, have opportunity for many younger generations to you know, accomplish their dreams. So thank you again for everyone who made this possible. Again, have a great day, and I can't wait to look at it inside. It looks beautiful. So yeah.
So now we come to what you all been waiting for, cutting of the ribbon. Yeah. First up, we have 3 people that are going to cut the ribbon, and hopefully they can use this fine gold scissors. First cutter is Dante, grandson of committee vice chair Dante Muzzioli.
Dante? No. Everyone's following because they don't know. Let's go, Dante! Gotta wait for a ceremonial. Smile. There you go. Listen to Franklin. He's going to tell you.
So you can see his face as he's cut.
Cut, and you're gonna look that way, and then can you just scooch out?
There you go.
Yeah! Good job. I can't. Mark, next person.
Second, Fiona Young, Oaks, daughter of Catherine.
You're gonna stand here, make smiling face.
Juliet and Conrad Zuniga.
Look towards the side. As you touch. Look up. Look at this camera. Mark.